What's up, guys? My name is KB, Kevin Benahan, and welcome to On Trend. On this show, I'll be speaking to the most inspirational people, and through their stories, you'll see how their hustle, their determination, and their creativity has gotten them into a place to become successful, in a place where they can create something impactful for our generation. On this episode, you'll gain the insight, you'll gain the knowledge, and most importantly, you'll gain the inspiration to take your life to the next level, but also to be on trend. So guys, this is my first guest on the show, On Trend, and his name is IG. And the reason why I picked him is because he's an amazing person. He is a content creator, a menswear blogger, but he does it in a way where it's classy, it's elegant, but it's true to himself.
Thank you.
And I highly respect that, and I highly respect people who are honest and just themselves around people.
I paid him to say that.
Yeah, he paid me. I mean, Venmo me later, you know. We get into the deep of things, as you know, where he's from, what's his background, what does he do on a daily basis, what's his morning routine, how does someone become a better person in life, but also how do you become a better dresser, and how do you get informed in fashion. And we talk about where do we see the menswear industry in 5 years from now, and what's our favorite brands and designers. It's gonna be a good one. Settling is not an option.
If you have a goal going into something, if you have a way certain things should be done and you feel that you are correct in that way, go ahead. Do not compromise. Do it the way you want. And if you do alter, be sure that it's going to make it better. If you are interested in something, try it. I think that experimenting is the best way to find your style and what works for you. My name is IG Okafor. I am a menswear blogger, and I also work with lifestyle content. And what I do is write. I write about ways to live a better life, and I support that with really decent or cool images that I think will inspire my audience to want to read my articles. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love my job. I get to meet the best people. I get to do what I enjoy, and I'm in New York City doing it, so it's fantastic.
That's awesome. And I know you mentioned you live in New York City now, but
I do.
You're not originally from New York City, right? Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Nigeria. I was born and raised there. I was there for about 13 years.
Wow.
I was fortunate enough to go to school in Europe for a few months, and that was fantastic. Went to boarding school.
Where in Europe?
I went to Paris.
Okay.
And I was in San Sebastian, Spain. I was really young, so I had no idea of appreciation, and I was missing my parents every day.
Yeah.
I was super ungrateful, but looking back now, it was a fantastic experience, obviously. And now I'm here in New York City, so
That's amazing.
yeah, life keeps going.
Yeah. So would you say that you know, because there's a lot of people in New York City that have never lived in overseas or in Europe or in Spain or in Paris. Would you say that you have an advantage over these people because you have that experience? You have that worldly view, or what do you say?
I think that a worldly view definitely helps the way that you see life, but you know, I don't think that I am better than anyone. You know, I think that a lot of people can see, you know, a variety of things wherever they are. You know, New York can offer you a lot of things that I, you know, could not have seen in Paris or in Spain or in Nigeria. And I come here and meet those people who have learned those things, and I can learn from them.
Yeah.
as I hope that they would learn from me. So I think that everyone is on an even playing field.
Man, this guy has an amazing mindset. Like
Thank
humble.
you.
Love that.
Thank you.
I love that, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, because like, you know, sometimes a lot of people, they say, oh, I'm from Paris, or oh, I'm from, you know, London, and I think I'm better than you because I'm, you know, you're from New York City, you know, all that
It's
stuff
just
like
not
that.
realistic.
Yeah, and it's good to have that open-mindedness, especially at a young age, because, you know, when you're open, you get to learn more things. So that's awesome to have.
Also, I think it's just nice for everyone to know that they don't know everything,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And as much as you think you do, you don't. It's like the world is so big.
Yeah.
There's so many people. There are a variety of experiences that may not even come to light for years to come. But
For sure.
just stay open-minded, you
Yeah.
know? And I
That's
think that's
awesome.
the way to succeeding in everything you do, because you're constantly learning.
Yeah.
And if you're learning and you're executing properly and you're sharing what you're learning, then in my opinion, you're succeeding. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Where do you think that you gained that like mindset from?
my parents, since I was a young boy, they always instilled in me to be humble. My parents are people who like to learn. They are very into discipline, and I think them training me the proper way, honestly, and instilling in me what the important things of life revolve around helped me, you know, have this mindset. So I'm grateful to them.
That's awesome. That's good. Are your parents here or they're back in
My
Detroit?
parents live in Virginia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we moved here and we moved to Virginia, and that's where we finished high school.
Yeah.
And my mom loves it there. She loves her kids. She loves to cook. She loves her family, and she hates New York. She is not really,
It's such a different lifestyle.
She doesn't even visit me. So
Do you go visit her though?
yeah, you know, once every 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So Virginia is not my vibe.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely can't do a photo shoot down there. Maybe
Nah,
like-
you can.
You can,
It's
yeah,
just the energy is very different. I don't think that Virginia is a place.
Where in Virginia
that-
exactly?
Hampton, Virginia.
Okay.
So it's a little small town where everyone knows each other. Everyone goes to the same high school. It's good. I think it's good to relax. It's good to have an easygoing life. But for someone like me who wants to constantly be creative, who wants to constantly meet a variety of people, who wants a little bit of a faster way of life, New York is the best place to do that.
Right.
You know,
100%.
you're inspired to achieve.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about being here.
The energy here is
Undescribable,
unlike anything.
irreplaceable.
Yeah, 100%. So you said something about being creative. As being a creative individual like yourself, like, you know, writing.
Thank you.
And, yeah, no, and by the way, like, you're amazing. Like, your
Thank you.
content's amazing. The way you write is very eloquent and elegant, but also, you know, you inspire very well. Where do you, so let's say, right, you're creative, right? So you go home and you're in front of your computer. What does your creative process look like? You know, how do you get from no words on the paper to words on the paper? Where do you get like your inspiration from?
I think my followers, and I'm so grateful to them because they actually respond to what I write. So it's great.
Great feedback.
Great feedback. It's like you write about something and they compliment that, and then they tell you what they want to see or what they want to learn about. So you curate articles like that.
Gotcha.
But generally, I read a lot, which I realized recently. I didn't realize I was reading a lot. I thought I was just... But I read a lot and I get inspired by a lot of articles, especially in women's wear. And it's like I read things in women's wear, lifestyle, and I think, why do they not have this for men? Why is no one talking about this with men? So that's where most of my inspiration comes from. Reading women's wear articles, and it's how would a man react to this? What should men know about this? What should they learn about this? And that's what I try to put on IG, okafor.com. And sometimes inspiration comes out of my personal curiosity, things that I want to learn about. And really, it's easy. It's like I come up with an idea, I write about it, and I come up with ways to visually promote that. So write the article, meet up with my photographer, we discuss ways in which we can carefully and properly curate the visual, and we execute it and we share it, and whoever feels like they can relate, they
That's awesome.
get involved. So
Yeah.
it's good. It's an easy process.
Yeah, because when you naturally curious about something, you want to learn about it,
Right.
and then you instantly want to share it to the world.
Exactly.
So you have like that burning desire, and I know I got the same thing. You know, just like doing this, it's like I want to share it with the world. You know, so that's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell me, how did you get started? You know, with doing your blog and just your brand and getting into the fashion world. Like, when did you first realize that fashion, menswear, was where you wanted to be?
It's so funny. I never ever realized that.
Never.
I'm not even sure that I still realize that. Because it's funny because I talk to people and they
Yeah.
ask me, how does it feel to be in the fashion world? And
Yeah.
I go, I'm in the fashion world. I just feel like a visitor. I feel like a tourist in this world that I've been lucky enough to be given a platform on. But starting blogging, I think this was around the 10th grade. It's when you're figuring yourself out. You want to see how you can stand out from everyone else. I grew up in music. I grew up in theater. That's what I thought I wanted to do. So
you were like acting.
I was acting,
Wow.
I was singing, I was dancing, I was
Wow.
modeling, I was everywhere.
Wow.
I just knew that I wanted to entertain and perform. And I think that my interest in fashion came as a result of that, just wanting to perform, just wanting to be visually exciting, just wanting to entertain people. So I would read magazines, Vogue, GQ, and I was just very impressed by the visual that I was looking at. It gave you something to aspire to. And I think that's what I liked about fashion. Now, personal style was when I started to get into blogging. I was following guys like Justin Livingston, Adam Gallagher, Freddie, and I just thought what they were doing was really cool. They were able to share their personal styles, and they were able to talk about it in a way that I was learning. And as I learned about it, I wanted to share what I was learning about. So that's where the writing came in. I started writing for a Canadian blogger. She asked me to do the menswear side of her website. I was doing that for a while. And it was a hobby, you know. I didn't think I wanted to do it as a serious career. I didn't know that you could do it as a serious career.
Right.
But then my mother hated that I worked for other people. She doesn't like me working for other people. So she says, instead of you writing for someone else, why can't you start your own site, write it for yourself and share it? Sure. You know, I started the website, did a couple of posts, I shared on Instagram and told everyone I was starting it, and everyone seemed to be excited. So obviously that kept me going.
By this time, did you already have like a following, or
not really? I think about 2000 maybe, because I was posting my outfits.
How many years ago was this?
4.
4 years ago? Wow.
Yeah. Instagram was 4, right? 2011?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't 4. That
Wow,
was
that's
4
like a
years
long
ago.
time
That's
ago.
a while, right?
Yeah.
It's like 5.
Yeah.
I'm bad at
5,
math,
6.
so
Yeah.
so started Instagram in 2011. I think I started the blog officially 2013.
Wow, you're an
or
OG,
12.
man.
Am I? No, I feel like the OGs are Justin, Freddie, and
Yeah.
Adam, who were doing it when people didn't even know
No.
that it existed. So I started the blog 2013, and I was in New York. I just moved, so I used it as a way to document my experiences. I had no idea of strategy. I had no idea or perception of audience. I was just sharing my life. And people caught on to that, but they caught on to the menswear aspect of it. But I wasn't even doing menswear. I was experimenting with style. So I'd wear huge hats, like large t-shirts, leather jackets. And it was interesting, you know. I was just blogging. Nothing really was happening at the time. I just enjoyed that I was writing and sharing something. Eventually, I got reached out to do my first collaboration, which was a giveaway. And that's when I realized, oh, people are paying attention to me. I could take this somewhere else. So the entire blogging process has just been a platform for growth and self-discovery. And I think that that's how I've gotten here. It's started the blog. I was in college at the time I started. I was interning for 3 different magazines. So I'd be sent out to Fashion Week to cover shows backstage. And I just really improved writing. And I was sharing that on IGOCover.com.
So you were doing all this at the same time?
At the same time. So it was college, my blog, writing for magazines, working in digital marketing and interning. But it wasn't difficult because I enjoyed doing it. I was excited.
You were excited every day.
Exactly. And I wasn't someone that was just great at school, you know. I just was never one of those people who
for sure,
wanted to be
100%.
at school.
Yeah.
So just with my parents who are Nigerian, giving me the opportunity to come to New York and do whatever I wanted, I'm gonna go full force. So that was where all that motivation came from. So I was doing that. I was, you know, learning from other people. I was meeting other people who worked in fashion, and I think everything just sort of found its place.
Yeah.
It's you work hard, and the things that are supposed to be for you, the things that are supposed to come to you will come to you.
For sure, and especially if you treat people right, like, and you have a
Exactly.
great personality like yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're nice to people, you work hard.
Yeah.
You find things that you can relate
Yeah.
to them, you can relate with them on.
Right.
You know, it's good, and I've just been lucky and fortunate. I think everything has happened really fast,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I'm oblivious to how much has happened, but I think being in New York and being someone who constantly wants to succeed, it's that way, you know. I'm lucky. I feel like I have a long way to go, but I'm ready for it,
You're
and
ready
I'm
for it.
excited.
That's awesome.
Thank
Yeah. So
you.
I mean, so definitely just speaking about like your long way to go. Where do you? So what are your goals, and where do you see yourself like in 3 years from now?
I grew up performing, and I think that part of me wants to continue doing that to ultimately get to what to
Performing,
ultimately
like,
get to.
In theater?
So theater, music, acting, but not necessarily on those platforms. So right now, at least, I know that I want to be a household name in menswear and lifestyle travel. And getting to my end goal, which is having my own menswear and lifestyle brand, I want to have a backing. I want to do that and have people know that I'm worthy of having that and know that they can trust my opinion. So I want to do that through TV. I'd like to be on TV. I'd like to host a show. I'd
Yes.
like to present. You know, I would like to work besides designers on collaboration so I can learn how to design. I can learn the business side of it to ultimately get to what I want to get to. So right now, I think, you know, being on TV and performing in that aspect where you're being a presenter, you know, you're critiquing looks, you're hosting fashion events. I think that all builds experience into what I want to ultimately achieve. So that's what I'm working on right now. It's like the means to the end, which I'm sure my end in my head right now is not my end. I feel like I'm going to get there and
Right.
want to do something else.
Right.
You know?
You never know, because you never know
Exactly.
what's going to interest you at the time. You never know, you know, where your mindset is going to be. It's just like how personal style changes over the years. You know?
Right.
Sometimes you like something one year, and the next year you might not like it anymore.
Right.
You know. So
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And that happens every time. And I'm open to acting. I'm open to being involved with music. But if there's, you know, any way we can inject a
Do you
bit
sing?
of my, I don't think I'm a great singer. I feel sometimes I sound good, but I would not make an album or anything like that. I'd feature on the track. or something.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
Who are your top 5 designers or fashion houses or brands that you look up to or that you buy from on a daily basis?
I like to support anything that I like, so I wouldn't say that I have specific brands that I shop for specific things, but I really admire people like Tom Ford, Ralph Lauren, Giorgio Armani, people who have been able to create really classic brands that have stayed around for so long. And if I had options to shop, obviously I would go in that route. I also think that Gucci is doing such a great job. I'm shopping more and more Gucci sweaters these days and shoes. And right now I think that Gucci is sort of a trend, and I usually say that I don't like trends.
Right.
But, you know, I think that Gucci is having a moment right now, and it's very cool to be a part of this moment that
Right.
we will talk about for years to
Yeah.
come, you know?
Yeah, Gucci is doing awesome stuff right now.
Gucci is great. I think that they choose the best creative director. And I don't think that it's for everyone, especially if you're menswear. It's not exactly menswear, but I think that what they've created is something to be very excited by. What they've done with branding, what they've done with the clothing, it's something that everyone, designers, bloggers, should be inspired by. We're pushing creativity, we're pushing innovation, we're pushing visual stimulation. And that's what I get from Gucci. That's why I like Gucci. That's why I want to shop Gucci. And I think that that's where fashion should be going in, you know?
Yeah.
Constant innovation.
Constant innovation.
Interesting things.
Yeah.
And I think that Gucci is doing it. And
Yeah.
that's why I like Gucci.
That's good. I mean, you definitely have a good eye for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about? So my favorite designer, the reason why I got into fashion was Ralph Lauren. Like I loved
Awesome.
his vision, how he just didn't make clothing, but he made it into a lifestyle. You know, cars, sports, home, living, and I love that because that's what fashion is. It's not just about clothes. It's about how
way you live,
Exactly,
generally.
exactly. What do you think about Ralph Lauren now in 2017?
I think he's great. I think that Ralph Lauren has been able to maintain a certain level of class and elegance. And if you want to talk about designers who have really stayed true to their idea, their aesthetic, their point of view, Ralph Lauren is one of those people. He doesn't blow where the wind blows.
Right.
He does what he wants to do. You know, he still has that DNA of Ralph Lauren in everything that he does.
Right.
Even though that doesn't seem to be the popular opinion right now, I think that he's doing a fantastic job. you
Yeah.
know, and I think that he has eternity to go. So,
Right.
You know.
No, for sure. I mean, I saw the other day. I mean, I don't know how old is he? He's in the 70s, right? Like,
knows?
I don't know.
Right.
But he was like coming out in the fashion show with a jumper. I'm like, man, this guy is killing it.
He
you
lives
know?
and breathes fashion.
Yeah.
He lives and breathes his brand, and that's something to be excited by.
For
you
sure,
know?
100%. So you mentioned how some brands, they, go with the wind and go with the trend. How do you as like IG, how do you stay centered and true to yourself? Because a lot of brands and a lot of bloggers and a lot of people, they go with what's trendy and what's popular right now, but then sometimes they kind of lose themselves in the process. So give me your mindset on like, how do you stay grounded, or how do you stay true to your brand or yourself?
You are what you are, and you do what you do. I am very inspired by old Hollywood. I know that the kind of man I want to be. I know the kind of man I want to be perceived as. And that is exactly what keeps me going. Having that and really paying attention to what is going on around you and being open-minded. It's, for example, I think my style is very dapper, very preppy. You have the dress shoes, you have the blazers, but then also you have certain trends in menswear that are like, you wear sneakers with suits. I'm open-minded towards that. I want to try that. And if it works for me, then I adapt it to my style. If it doesn't, then it doesn't work. So I think that comes from knowing who you are, knowing what you ultimately want to achieve, and then seeing ways in which you can incorporate new and contemporary things to keep things interesting.
Right.
And that's how I stay grounded.
That's awesome. What's like your signature style? So to
Signature
say?
style
Is it
these
three-piece
days.
suit?
Actually,
This thing is Woo,
Thank
smoking.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Actually, this just started going into fruition, or rotation, should I say.
Where's this from, by the way?
This is an Indochino made-to-measure suit. They do really great with my fit, so I like them, and I've worked with them a couple of times.
Yeah, that's
so
great.
they're great. But generally, I think I just like a suit. I
Yeah.
think a suit looks good, and I haven't always been a suit person. I just liked blazers. I was more on the preppy side, more experimenting.
Right.
But now I think a suit does it for me. I feel confident. I feel like a superhero. I feel like I can never look bad. So this is it for me right now. I think that my style
It's a
is
suit.
a well-fitted
Do you,
suit.
have you heard like Tom Ford, how he said, in the morning, if I don't feel good, but I put on a suit, it's like an armor. Like he feels like Superman when
I have heard that.
when he puts on a suit.
And I
That's
feel
how
like
you feel.
him.
Yeah, it's true.
Honestly, I think that there's a confidence that's instilled in you when you
Yeah.
put on a suit, right?
For sure.
It's what everyone's looking at you, everyone's complimenting you, and also you just know that you don't look bad if it's beautifully designed and it fits well.
It's like
you
an
know?
instant, like, when
Like,
someone
I
sees you, it's like,
look
oh,
good in a
wow, this guy, he's sharp, he's on
Right,
point.
right.
I can trust him.
Exactly, if it fits well, because there are people who wear poorly tailored suits.
For sure, 100%.
but we're working towards changing
Yes,
that.
yes,
So.
yes.
Everyone read my site.
Yes, everyone please read his site. So I was gonna ask you, I know that you recently posted, what was it? What is it here? Improving your best self.
Yes.
Post. I loved it.
Thank you.
It was so good. I
Thank
definitely
you.
read everything, read each paragraph. And you said settling is not an option.
No.
Yeah. What do you expand on that? What do you mean by that?
If you have a goal going into something, if you have a way certain things should be done and you feel that you are correct in that way, go ahead. Do not compromise. Do it the way you want. And if you do alter, be sure that it's going to make it better. You know? For example, you go into a shoot and you want things shot in a certain way, in certain angles, but for some reason, the photographer is not capable and you want to correct him and help him out, but you don't want to step on his toes, so you end up not getting the shot that you want, you know, because you don't want to step on his toes.
Yeah.
No, you are working together to be better. So if you have an idea of something that you want to execute, don't blend, don't compromise, don't change things to make it more comfortable for the other person. Go ahead and just do it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like every time we settle, there's always that part of us that is just not satisfied.
Right.
So what did you just do? You just wasted your time. Time that we don't have.
No, that's such a good mindset, especially like in the industry we're in, because, you know, it's not just like we're dealing with numbers that are facts. We're dealing with very creative and vulnerable and sensitive things. So,
Exactly.
So, you know, if there's a photo or like a picture, like a pose that you don't like and you don't say anything, it's going to be posted and you're not going to be happy with it. And I know from experience, because, you know, when you start off, like,
Right.
you know, you're kind of like, you don't know, like you're kind of timid, but after you get experience, you're like, no, this is exactly what I want.
Exactly.
This is the vision. If you can't execute on this vision, then
On to the next one.
I'm not going to pursue it.
Exactly, and it's not personal. Everyone has a vision, and everyone deserves to have their vision executed.
Right.
And that goes for anything, you know, relationships, when it's the restaurant you want to eat at, you know, if you have these things that you want to do for yourself, don't settle. Go ahead and do it. It's your life, and you deserve to live it the way you want to live it.
For sure.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
and also the feeling you get when you want to do something and you're not able to do it because you settled is not a good feeling. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. You know?
Yeah, 100%. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so, you know, there's a lot of people that DM me and ask me, oh, hey Kevin, like, how did you get started doing what you're doing? How did you
Get a
get
lot
into the
of
fashion
those.
industry? Yeah, how do you increase your followers? How do you
Yeah.
do all this stuff? You know, what advice would you give to that person who's like, you know, on like, I don't know, like 1,000 followers, about to, you know, meet up with photographers, shoot some content for their blog? What's like the top 3 things you would give them? Advice, tips?
I get the following question a lot, and I guess it's a legitimate question, but I do not have that answer. People like what they like, and also I don't think that your following is a direct reflection of the quality of your content or your talent. But for me, increasing your following, I think it has to do with a lot of things. You think about a music artist and they're so talented and they put out music. The music is just not going to do well on its own. You have to do radio interviews, you have to do TV appearances, you have to interview with other people, you have to promote what you're doing. So as a blogger, you should make an effort to promote your articles, make an effort to promote your pictures, make an effort to promote your brand. And how do you do this? Putting out quality content, having a specific point of view, and engaging with people who have similar points of views. So that's getting together with other bloggers who might share your point of view, collaborate with them. I found that that's the best way to grow, you know, collaborating with people who might have more influence than you.
Right.
And obviously you're not collaborating with them just because you think it'll help your following. You have to have a genuine appreciation, a common understanding for what it is that you share together for it to make sense.
Right.
Because if you're just doing it to do it, then I think that people catch on and they can tell.
Right.
And it doesn't come off authentic. So at the end of the day, you're wasting your time.
Right.
So fastest way to growing, promotion in every possible way that you can. You're coming up with ideas. You're sending them out to brands to pick up. You know, you're doing as many interviews as you can. You're writing for as many magazines as you can, taking every opportunity you can to work. You're showing up to events, you're socializing, you're doing as much as you can to exhaust your opportunity.
Right.
And I think that that's the best way to grow generally. I think that's how I've done it. And you know, when you do all that,
something will pop.
something
will
happens.
come up. Yes.
You grow. I
for
think
sure.
you find your big break. Something strikes, and you know, if it's meant to be for you, then it's meant to be for you. And if it's not working, then go back to the drawing board and just try harder.
Right.
You know, it's a hard industry to break into, but it's so easy if you play your cards right.
For sure, 100%. You meet the right people,
Exactly.
and then from there, the world is yours.
Exactly.
That's
It's,
awesome.
You never settle.
Never
everything
settle.
Ties into
Never
each other.
settle, yeah.
You never settle. You have a goal. You exhaust every opportunity,
Yeah.
and you should be good to go. And you have a strong point of view too, because if you don't, then it's easy to get lost in all of this.
For sure.
And you
100%.
know for sure, just being this, doing this, it's easy to believe that you just, you know, thrive in this bubble. It's at the end of the day, we're in a bubble, and most of what we do is great, and we're so lucky, but it's like not real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you have to separate it, you know, from having all this following and all this stuff on Instagram, and then actually like real life, you know.
It's like, what is your essence? It's like, what do
Exactly.
you do?
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah, it's true.
And
it's
that's
true.
a whole nother conversation that we can chat about.
Yeah,
off
there's a whole,
camera,
of course.
you
of
know,
course.
I think it's important to know what you do, and I think when you know what you want to do, you stand the test of time, right? I see blogging as a means to get somewhere else. Some bloggers don't know that, they don't see that, they think that it'll be relevant forever, so they're comfortable. And I advise people not to stay comfortable. Keep pushing.
Keep pushing.
Keep seeing ways in which you can be better. Keep looking at ways in which you can extend your talent and yourself. Continue learning.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's how you discover yourself, and that's how you extend and expand generally. So, yes, that's my advice.
I love that.
With everything. That was a bunch of.
That's so
things.
good.
Thank you.
No.
Put together more.
It's so good. Like, yeah.
Thank
it's,
you.
It's the reason why I have you. I wanted to interview you and just get to know more about you, and you know, give you, let my audience know about you, is because you know you have that style factor, but then also you have the mindset factor too, which I look for. You know, I just don't, you know, want to associate myself with someone who, you know, just looks good, but he's a shitty person.
Right.
You know, I want to be with someone who's, you know, looks good, but also who's a great person as well. You know, and you definitely
You're
Yeah.
inspired, you're motivated, you are open to teaching other people, and
Yeah.
you're just a well-grounded person. Right?
100%.
Comes down to being a good person.
100%.
At the end of the day, so.
100%. I was gonna say, so for a beginner who's just trying to, like, you know, dress better, what are like some, like the top 5 style tips you would give them?
Top 5. That is a difficult one. Top 5 off the top of my head.
Or
Make
just whatever you
sure-
think is like, what's like an IG?
Important.
Yeah, what's an important tip to give someone who's, you know, who has a style but not just there yet, you know?
I say definitely experiment with anything. If you are interested in something, try it. I think that experimenting is the best way to find your style and what works for you. Because if you try something and you don't like it, you can change it. You can change it until you find what you feel most comfortable in. Once you find that, make that a uniform. Continue wearing that. And then slowly but surely start to incorporate other things. Then I think in that way you find your style.
Let's see here. So, what, like, growing up, or like as, like, even right now, what are your like top role models that you look up to? Who do you look up to growing up and now? Like, because I know me growing up, my role model was Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson. Then when I turned 16, I started seeing Justin Timberlake,
Yes.
like with his style and wearing the
Yes.
suit on stage. And then now, like I really look up to like Drake and his music and how he's like, promoting his brand and Jay-Z. So like who are the people that you look up to?
People that I look up to outside of my parents and people in my family. Growing up, it was definitely Michael Jackson. I wanted to be like Michael Jackson. I wanted to meet Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, Beyonce, and she still is someone I look up to just as a person of color and what she's been able to do, as a matter of, inspiration, staying motivated, staying humble, and just working hard. And she's the best at what she does, and she probably doesn't even know it, She wants to be better.
Right.
And in that way, it's so inspirational to me. I think Victoria Beckham is fantastic. She inspires me. If I could model my career after anyone, I think it'd be her. To start off in something that you had a passion for, to transition into your life purpose is amazing. And she's been able to do it so exceptionally. So she's so humble, she's so willing to learn, and she exudes all of the qualities that a good leader is supposed to exude. So for that, I adore her, and I hope that I can, do something close to what she's managed to do. Tom Ford is also great. I think that he is the definition of a true gentleman, and in that way I model myself after him. He is so well spoken, he is so talented, he's so intelligent, and he's always willing to teach as much as he's willing to learn. And that's why those people inspire me.
That's awesome, man.
And he has a strong point of view, a
Yeah.
very strong point of view. I want to acquire that kind of respect, acquire that kind of talent, and, that reception of people and overall creative stimulation that he has.
Right.
He's great.
Yeah.
I think that we have some great inspirational people in our times right now. I think that right now in the world, we're really witnessing, what the 90s was for us? I feel like this is what we're creating for the generation
Yes.
behind us, and
Yeah.
it'd be amazing to be a part of that.
That's awesome. I couldn't agree more. Is there anything that you would like to share just about like personal style or just about lifestyle in general? That's
Personal
like a burning
style.
desire or just like a viewpoint that you see in the culture or in the news or anything in fashion related?
I think generally why fashion, menswear, creative, why we are thriving right now, it's because everyone is open to collaboration. We are embracing different cultures, we are embracing different kinds of people, we're embracing talents, and we are being inclusive of that in what we are doing. I think that if the world could do more of that and take example and utilize it into what we're all doing in our lives, the world would be a better place. I think that changes are being made, and I'm excited for those changes. Fashion, menswear, just being creative used to be something that didn't seem accessible.
Right.
But for some reason now it is.
It is.
It feels that way, and everyone is inspired to kind of transition into it, and they know that they can do it. And I think that that's what the world should be.
Right.
And I like that that's happening, because I think that we are putting people in power who kind of started off wanting to be included, and now they are included, and they are working hard to make sure that the people behind them are feeling included. So
I love that.
yeah, if we could get people to work hard and get to those places to make changes, that would be great for every industry, for every place in the world. But I'm confident that we are moving in the right direction.
Right.
And that makes me happy. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to giving back in, different ways that I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Where do you see like menswear in the next 5 years from now?
When you say menswear, do you mean menswear suiting and tie or just men's style generally?
It's tough because, yeah, I would say maybe we give both. Maybe menswear suiting and tie, and then also just, you know, like the whole streetwear revolution that's happening right now.
I don't know much
what I'm
about streetwear,
Okay.
so I can't speak that much on it, but generally I enjoy it.
Right.
I think that the people who know how to do it well do it really well, and that's what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
But the street style that I've seen are usually from my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm very inspired by that. I see them and I'm thinking, oh, you look so cool. I wish I could do that, but you know, and they tell me you can do it if you want to.
You
but
totally
it's like I can, but
Yeah.
is it me?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I can look good in it, but do I feel like myself? Not
No.
really. But you're wearing it because you feel like yourself, because you're creative enough to structure that and put it together. Where
Exactly.
it's like, that doesn't come naturally to
Right,
me.
right,
So
right.
I like it, I appreciate it. And I think that it needs to be here because it keeps things interesting.
For sure.
You know? And as for menswear, suit and tie, I was having a conversation with friends the other day, and they go, it's going to die soon, you know, because everyone's
Yeah.
getting more expressive. But I don't think so. You know, I think that there are different kinds of people for different kinds of things. And menswear is just one of those things that will stay for years
I think
to
it's
come.
gonna be like, you know, everything goes through cycles. So maybe
Yeah.
it might die out like for 2-3 years, but then it's gonna come back in. You know, it's everything's all a cycle to me. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever gonna die out. Suit and tie is something classic that
Exactly.
that you
I
need.
think it's for a certain kind of man, right? It's after a certain age and you feel mature and you have to present yourself a certain way. That's when you get into, you know, suiting and
For
ties
sure.
and all that. And for people like us, I think it's good because we know what men we want to be. So we start early, you know, trying to be that man. And then for other people, you know, they are what they are.
Exactly.
And they do what they do. You know,
Exactly.
if that's what you feel like you should wear, talking, you know, street style. If that's who you feel you are, then completely, you know, embody that, be that, make people understand why it's necessary to have that space.
Right.
You know, and same for menswear.
For sure.
You know, a suit and tie is always good.
100%. 100%. All right, so this was the last question.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, what's the legacy that you want to leave behind in the industry and just in life in general?
I want to be seen as a reference point for someone who was able to get into a community that's not so known for its generosity and was able to conquer it, and not just in one way, you know, but in multiple ways and departments that a variety of people can relate to and be inspired by. You know, I want to create something that will last for years to come. I want to create something that will signify that I do enjoy giving back. I want to create something that will keep people motivated to achieve more than what I have,
Right.
and to allow them to know that it is possible. You know,
Yeah, I love that.
it's like I think I know what it is now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to change. Just knowing the kind of person I am and knowing how easily bored I get, and I know how I like things changing all the time.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Right now, I think my legacy is just really working hard to achieve whatever it is that I want to achieve, whatever that may be, and not putting that in the box.
Right. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Man,
Thank
so
you.
good.
Thank
so good.
you.
Thank you.
What's up, guys? Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram at Kevin Benahem. I'm the most active there. I post every day. I give advice on fashion, menswear, mindset, and marketing. And hope to see you guys soon.